Hey, morning. So in this video, we are going to talk about software architecture and design. Under this, we will discuss about difference between software design architecture, 4+1 view model. So first, we'll see the difference between software design and architecture on the basis of aspects. Like we will see the parameters like focus, scope, output, example. So we'll see the difference between software architecture and software design. So what is software architecture? Software architecture of a program or computing system is the structure of the system which comprises software elements and the externally visible properties of those elements and the relationship among them. So basically software architecture is a computing system or computing system is the structure of the system. Next, we will see what do you mean by software design. So, if we define software design, it is the detailed planning of individual components, modules, and their internal logic, focusing on how to implement specific parts of the architecture. So, if we compare software architecture, so high level systemic structure, whereas in software design we have detailed implementation of component. In software architecture, the scope is entire system, whereas in software design we have individual modules or classes. In software architecture, on the basis of output, architectural diagrams, patterns, whereas in software design we have class diagram or algorithm as output. If we are talking about the example, software architecture is deciding on microservices architecture, whereas in software design, it will designing the search algorithm for books. Next topic is 4+1 view model. So the 4+1 view model discovered or introduced by Philip Crutch. So 4+1 view model is a framework for describing the architecture of software intensive system using 5 complementary views. Okay, logical view, development view, process view, physical view, and scenarios. So it is the primarily categorized architecture documentation into this set of views. So 4+1 view model, we have 4 views of the models, which is logical view, development view, process view, physical view, and one more view we can consider as scenarios. So 4+1 view model is used for describing the architecture architecture of software intensive system based on the use of multiple concurrent views. So the viewer is used to describe the system for the viewpoint of different stakeholders like end user, developers, system engineers, and project manager. Okay, so first one is the 4+ view. We have first component is logical view. So logical view, which is focusing on the functional requirement of the system, also represent the system's object model or class diagram. So 4+1 view model, the audience will be developer analysis, and it also concerned with the functionality that system provides to the end user. Example, if we are talking about the example, the UML class diagram showing how different component interact. Example, a library system showing book, user, and library class. So another UML diagrams which can be represent the logical view that include class diagram and state diagram also. Second one is the 4+view1 model. We have development view or implementation view. So which is focused on the software organization in terms of modules, packages, or layers. It also represent how the system is built and structured in code. And the audience of development view is developer. So if we are consider example like UML diagram. So UML diagram used to represent the development view include the package diagram and component diagram. And a package diagram showing different modules like authentication, search, and notification. And next one is the process view. So which is focused on runtime process and their interaction. It also deals with the dynamic aspects of the system, explain the system process and how they communicate and focus on the runtime behavior of the system. It also addresses the concurrency, distribution, integration, performance, and scalability. And it represents the if we are talking about the example, it will represent like example thread inter-process communication, and the audience for the process view model is system architects, developers. Sequence diagrams or activity diagram illustrating how a user triggers multiple processes. For example, borrowing a book involves updating the catalog and sending the notification. So in UML diagram, sequence diagram, communication diagram, and activity diagram comes under the process. And fourth one is the physical view. It is also called as deployment view, which is focused on the physical deployment of the system. It also represents the mapping of the software on hardware resources, on nodes and their interconnection. And the audience will be the system administrator and network engineer. Example, if we are talking about the example UML diagram, which represent the physical view, include the deployment diagram. So deployment diagrams showing the servers, databases, and client devices in a cloud-based system. And next one is the scenarios, which consider the use cases. So it focus on the use cases or scenarios that demonstrate how the system operates. And also, second thing, it will ties together the other four views to validate that they meet the requirement. And the audience of the scenarios will be all stakeholders. And the scenarios also describe the sequences of interaction between the object and between processes. And it also serves as a starting point of the test of a architecture prototype. And example, a use case showing the process of a user search for the in borrowing a book in a library system. So library system, we can consider the example for scenarios. So this is a diagram for 4 plus 1 view model. So first one is the logical view. It also interconnected with deployment view. Deployment view is also interconnected with physical view, and logical view also connected with process view. And a scenarios is interconnected with play important role, which is interconnected with logical view, deployment view, physical view, and process view. So this is a 4 plus 1 view model. Okay, the first one is logical view. We have we have four categories. One is logical view, development view, physical view, and process view. So if we talk about the real world example, so for real world example, we can consider the online food delivery system. So logical view, like we can consider the classes like users in food delivery system. We have classes, we can categorize classes as users, restaurant, order, delivery person, and menu item. Relationship, like if we are considering the online food delivery system, so order has association with users, restaurant, and delivery person. And if we represent UML, we can use the class diagram. So already we in previous slide we already seen that in logical view we can consider the UML diagram as class diagram. Next, second one is the development view. So what are the modules we can consider for online food delivery system? Like user services, like handles, login, registration, order service, manage order placement, and status. Delivery service handles delivery driver assignment. So these are the modules we can consider for online food delivery system for deployment. So UML diagram, package diagram is showing the methods. So for deployment development view, we have to consider the package diagram as UML diagram example. Next, we have process view. So process view, the name itself that we can process like if we are considering the food delivery system like a request, services, all the things will be comes under the process view. When a user place an order, like when a user place an order, what we will do, it will request is sent to the order services. It means request sent to the hotels, restaurants, okay, and order services means contacts restaurant services for availability, delivery services assign a driver and updates the order status, all the things we can. So normally we are ordering for Swiggy, Zomato, Uber. So these are the apps normally we are using for online food delivery system, representing using sequence diagram. So if we are considering the example, so we can represent the process view with the help of sequence diagram. And also we can use the some other diagram like communication diagram, activity diagram. We can also use for process view. Next one is the physical view, that is also uh, deployment. So like online food delivery system, we have we need software or we need website like web server hosting the front end, application servers running microservices, database server storing user and order data, and load balancer distributing traffic among servers. So like we can say like how we will do the deployment for online food delivery system. We need a website, we need a server, we need a online hosting front end, we need application server, database server, and load balancer. So that these are the basic requirement for deployment of online food delivery system. And also we seen in previous slide for physical view, we can represent through UML diagram, that is deployment diagram. We can represent. Also we can use some other kind of diagram like we can use basically in most of the cases in physical view we are using the only deployment diagram. Next scenarios, the last one is the scenario, which is considering the use case. Like it is the description of an architecture is illustrated using a small set of use cases as scenario, which become the fifth view of the 4+1 view model. So example we can consider for use case as placing an order. So it involves some steps like user logs in and select a restaurant, user adds item to the cart and confirm the order. Next, system validate the order, assigning a driver and notifies the user. So what actually user will do if user is hungry or customer is hungry and he wants to place an order, he have to use some online application. He have to first if uh, first time user he have to sign up, or if already is there he can log in with his username and password or through mobile number. So first user have to log in and select the restaurant, if it is veg restaurant, non-veg restaurant, according to his priority he have to select the restaurant. And he have to, if suppose he selected the veg item, so he have to select the different veg items like like curry, chapatis, or different kinds of vegetables, okay, or if he order like burger, like veg burger, okay, so you have to select and chart item, all those things it's away. And after selecting you have to confirm the order. And once it will then it will validate the order. If the stock or sometimes stocks are also not available, so they will not validate, they will not they will assign some other order, okay. And after placing the successful order, will notify that your order has been successfully placed, and it will take some time. It will after packaging, it will deliver within that particular time. So next one is the benefit of 4 plus 1 view model, which provide a comprehensive architecture description for diverse stakeholder, validate the architecture through use case scenario, separate the concern, making the system easier to understand and maintain. Thank you.